Ashuddhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Prapyamam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Krishna says over here, Ashuddhana Purusha, Ashuddhana, that one who is not having faith. Purusha, such a person. Dharmasyasya Parantapa, that person doesn't have faith in this process of dharma. Aprapyamam, that person cannot attain me. Nivartante, will come back. Mrityu samsara vartmani, to the path of repeated birth and death. Mrityu samsara vartmani. So, in the 8th chapter, a repeated theme has been anavritti and punaravritti. That anavrittina, that he says that Brahma Bona Loka Punaravartino Arjuna in 8.16 Krishna said that from the highest to the lowest planets one has to come back from there. Mamapete tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. But if we become devoted to him, to Krishna, we don't come back. Krishna is reiterating that point here when he says aprapyamam nivartante, that if we don't come back, want to come back to this world, the way is that we become purified, we become devoted to Krishna. And if one does not become devoted to Krishna, one doesn't attain Krishna, then nivartante, one has to come back. And mrityu samsara vartmani, mrityu samsara. Samsara, this material existence is, from a philosophical perspective, defined by death. So, mrityu samsara. Why? Because whatever else we do in this world, we become famous, we become powerful, we become very beautiful, but it's all going to be terminated by death. And wise people are conscious of this and they try to work towards dealing with that situation. Now, suppose when a person has no job, then the person gets a contract labor. Okay, you do this project, you help in this work, and you will get this much money. But while doing that contract labor job well, the person also is taking care that is always aware that I have to get a permanent job. I can't give up this job because this is giving me some my livelihood right now. But at the same time, this is not stable. So a wise person, while working on the present job, doesn't neglect one's the attempt to get a permanent job. And at one level, we can say that nothing in life is permanent, but still, there are lesser and greater degrees of we could say persistence or durability or of existence. So, for example, a contract labor, a contract job, which now we may call as freelancer, say. Okay, somebody gets a job for 6 months. That's good, but that's not enough. If somebody has a job which is going to last for 3 years, that's better. But if somebody's got a job that's going to last for 30, 40 years, that's even better. So we are aware of the temporariness of things from within this world's perspective. But when things are beyond this life's perspective, even within this world, we tend to become oblivious of those things. Somehow, the same people while working at one job, are also preparing for a longer job. They are the most intelligent. Now, still, that actually causes that causes a split of one's energies, and that it causes overload. Because say a person is right now studying, right now working in software, and that person wants to become and wants a long-term career as IAS officer. That is not going to work, because it's very difficult to make it work, because software requires one kind of knowledge study application, and IAS requires a different kind of knowledge study application. So the person's energy will be split. But if that person is working right now in software as a, say, on a freelance or a contract basis, but if that person works that job itself well, then they can make that job permanent, and that will be a much stabler career where the energies are harmonized rather than split. So doing the temporary job well and seeking a permanent job both go hand in hand, and that is the beauty of the process of bhakti, that it enables us to actually harmonize our material with the spiritual. There are materialists who are so caught in the temporary job, that they're just so caught in the temporary pleasures of life, that they don't think of anything beyond these pleasures. Just think only of the here and now and the sense pleasures available here. And there are the renunciates, in contrast, who consider, at least there are some renunciates who consider that everything material is bad, and they think to become spiritually advanced, everything material has to be rejected. So, for such people, life becomes where they are like a person who is having one job, and who is, while doing that job, or trying to do that, maintain that job, is also trying to develop a whole new different career. It is demanding. So, like that, if one is, all of us have a material body right now. At the same time, if we think of liberation purely in terms of negation of matter, rejection of matter, first of all, we just can't live without matter. And not only can we not live without material things, but also we can't think about, we can't even, how much can we conceive anything spiritual right now? But bhakti is like the process where good performance in the temporary job can be used to get a permanent job. Now, if we see this world as the property of Krishna, so rather than focusing on the fact that this world is material and therefore to be rejected, devotee focuses on the fact that this world belongs to Krishna and is meant to be engaged in his service. With this understanding, when we strive to move closer to Krishna, with this understanding, when we strive to practice bhakti even in this world, seeing material things as his resources meant for his service. So it's not that the devotee is materially irresponsible or materially rejecting things. A devotee uses material things in Krishna's service. And to the extent that we can use the material things in his service, to that extent we can progress onwards in our bhakti. Of course, it's not that the more we use material things, the more we will progress. Actually, our progress is our connectedness with Krishna. So we don't have to acquire more material things to use in Krishna's service. Rather, we use more and more what we have in Krishna's service, and if Krishna wills, he will give us more and more that way. So, here, Ashadbadhana Purusha, Dharmasyasya Parantapa. So, one who does not have this inclusive vision of God as not just someone who exists in his own abode, but as one to whom even this world belongs. to the extent we have that inclusive understanding of God, to that extent we can serve Him in this world. And those who think that God doesn't exist or God doesn't is not connected with this world, that one who does not have faith that devotion to God can liberate one who disconnects in one's own conceptions God and the world and sees the world as an independent reality, who does not have faith in Krishna's words describing how he is intimately and inseparably connected with this world, and especially is intimately connected with us all as his parts. One who does not see this connectedness, one who is not faithful enough to accept this connectedness, such a person will inevitably live materialistically, and by living materialistically, that person will be bound in material existence, not attaining Krishna. Ashuddha Dhana Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa. That the person who will not be able to practice this dharma, and firstly aprapya mam, those who don't have faith in Krishna cannot attain Krishna. Nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani, those people will return back to this material world. Mrityu samsara. So indirectly Krishna tells us that by having Shraddha in Him we can attain Him and thus go beyond Mrityu samsara. The explicit theme he will talk about in the 12th chapter, when he will say in 12.6 and 7, Tesham aham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. So there also the same word mrityu samsara is used. But there he says that he will become the swift deliverer for those who put faith in him and devote themselves to him. Thank you.